Welcome back this morning. We have a real treat today. We have a Heartland career coach with us, Joe Szynkowski. Did I get it?
Nailed it.
All right, of the UpWrite Group. You're out of Marion. He's here with us today. So we're going to talk about how to bring some happiness into the workplace. But first of all, tell us what you do to kind of help us understand where this is all coming from.
Sure. Yep. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm Joe. I run the UpWrite Group. It's in Marion, Illinois, communications consulting firm. We do personal branding also, but we help companies and people really understand how to tell their story so companies can grow and people can grow in their careers. So been doing it since 2008, have clients across the world, but also are trying to get a little bit more active locally and build a local footprint. So really appreciate it.
Okay, so a lot of people understanding who you are. You probably help a lot of businesses figure out how to navigate through this world, especially with social media and all of the ways that we have to reach people these days.
Correct, yeah, and there's a kind of a gap or a power struggle happening between companies and people. The pandemic really made it easier for people to go find work in different areas. Technology has really opened the door. So we found that people are kind of disengaged at work right now. 65% of people, I think, are actively disengaged. They're not even trying. So whether that's because they feel like they're underpaid or they feel like they don't have a voice at the table. There's probably people leaving for work right now, or maybe even people backstage that would raise their hand to that, and I'm just not feeling it at work.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah. So I get to be on both sides of the coin, where I work with companies and see the HR approach, and then I get to work with job seekers and kind of understand the gap and maybe what's missing between them.
What do you think the biggest thing is? Are people just not following their passions? Or what do you think the disconnect is? What is keeping people from being passionate and excited at work?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's settling or not having an inspiration in terms of, ooh, I could go kind of use my passion and my strengths to go do that. Maybe not even understanding what the job market looks like. So that's kind of what we can help people with. And like I said, technology has made it easier. You can be remote, you can be hybrid, you can do everything from home. So right now is a really exciting time, but it's also kind of really competitive. A lot of the tech companies went on a hiring spree, when the pandemic hit, because they had to figure out how to get more people to work collaboratively. So there's a gap, and that's what we try to kind of fix.
So what am I seeing here on the screen? Happy hour. That means a little bit more than what I'm thinking in my head, probably.
Correct. Yeah. So we are launching the first Work Happy Happy Hour. So I've been writing career-focused content for about 15 years. And we thought I have co-working space at Ethos at the Citadel in Marion, really cool team there. And we've done programming and training there. The director, Russell Williams, came to me at the end of last year and was like, how can we get something a little bit more community focused? So we came up with the Work Happy Happy Hour, and it's going to be the last Wednesday of every month, and we're going to have special guests. We're going to have a couple free drinks for everybody.
I was going to ask you if there were drinks.
Yeah, you're waiting for that.
Yep.
Free food, free band, music. It's just going to be a really cool networking opportunity. A lot of people aren't comfortable in that kind of setting, so we're trying to make it less Chamber of Commerce meeting and more just informal, networking conversation type event.
Because I think a lot of times people sell themselves short. They think, okay, this is it. This is the peak of my career. But you probably want to create that message that, no, what are your passions? How can you excel? Maybe it's in the current place that you're at. And just finding ways to branch out in that way, or just to maybe start the day positive.
Correct.
And be happy with what we do have, because even if you do feel stuck in your job, maybe sometimes having a little, perception of what else is out there, and perceptive is what I'm trying to say, is to see that things could be different, and we do probably have it pretty good where we are.
Totally, yeah. I think people sometimes need to look in the mirror, in terms of, am I doing everything I can be doing to help my company or bring new ideas to the table? So it's definitely not always on the employer. There are things they can do to make it easier. But even in terms of the job search process right now, people are really frustrated. They're being ghosted by recruiters. They're getting through interview process and maybe 2 or 3 interviews, and then the company goes with an internal candidate. There's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of communication gaps that are happening kind of between companies and people. So it's just interesting to kind of see that push and pull right now.
It could be really hard, that's for sure. Tell us again, happy hour, when that is.
The happy hour, so the first one's launching next Wednesday, February 28th from 5 to 7 o'clock p.m. It's at Celebrations Event Center in Marion. Marion. Really cool place. They host weddings, they host business conferences, things like that. And yeah, co-sponsored by Ethos at the Citadel and my company from 5 to 7, like I said. And anyone's welcome. It's completely free.
Okay,
and it's
anyone.
Be a fun time, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. And why do this again? I mean, the hit the point to us.
Sure.
Send it home with why we need to be focusing more on being happy and
Sure,
finding that, because we don't have to settle.
Correct, yeah, and we spend a third of our lives working, so why would you want to be miserable that entire portion of your life? That's a huge chunk of time. So what can you do? Tips and tricks, we'll have special guests there who are going to help inspire people. What can you do to kind of take that step and get out of that, stuckness of being at work? There are definitely opportunities out there, and there's people you can rely on to help you out.
All right, Joe, thanks so much for coming
Yes,
in.
ma'am. Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us. Yep.
You've got me thinking, that's for
Appreciate
sure. We'll take a break. We'll see you back here in just a few.